Have you ever experienced a death of a loved one, especially your parents? Well, since this is Mother's Day week coming up this weekend, I want to share with you guys how I lost my mother to suicide. Hi, my name is Maurice Braxton. This is my new channel, Evangelism for God, where we give glory to God and share about life issues and the spiritual issues and ways we can grow together. And if you're interested to continue to follow the journey, I have other videos that I've posted, and I'm continuing to post at least one or two a week. And feel free to subscribe and just join along with this journey if we want to grow with God and our relationships. Now, on to the story with my mother. It's a tough one because every Mother's Day, and I'm sure for some of you guys out there, and if you've lost your mother as well, put it in the comments below, and let's just help, share and try to remember them in the great time that we had while they were here, if you got to experience that. Now, unfortunately, I lost my mother at age 3. But the good thing is, I do have some memories about her. I do have some. And unfortunately, I carry with me the tragic memory of actually witnessing her commit suicide. And I'm going to share that story. I don't want to get into too much graphic detail because I don't know how YouTube handles things like that, since I'm new and I don't want it to be the channel to have any issues. But I'm going to be as, detailed as I can and share this with you. Now, my mother, this day that the suicide happened, she was cooking in the kitchen. She was cooking and frying up something in the pan, and I was running around trying to get her attention, and I was being bad. And she wasn't saying much. We were supposed to go over our grandmother's later after we ate and go over there. And she wasn't really saying anything. And normally she would play with me or do something. And she wasn't doing anything. She was ignoring me. And she made a comment. She said, "Why don't you go lay down like your brother?" She said, "Why don't you go lay down like your brother?" And I remember saying, "I don't want to lay down. I don't want to lay down." This being the old bad 3-year-old. And I said, "I don't want to lay down." So as I saw that she was ignoring me, I ended up going into the bedroom where my brother was. And he was asleep. And then I got in the bed. Then I jumped back out of the bed. And I go back into the living to go back to see about my mom. But when I go to see about her this time, I noticed she's walking into the living room, and it was dark. It was at this time, and she was walking into the living room, and it was dark. And I remember looking over there, and she had a big, long butcher knife in her hand. And I got scared. I didn't know what that meant. So I ran back to the bed. And within a few short period of time there, next thing you know, my mother comes into the bedroom with her head back like this. And what had happened was, I didn't realize, but she had sliced her throat from ear to ear. And I just remember thinking, like, how is she able to talk or walk? And there was, blood everywhere. And she came over to me while I'm in the bed. She said, "Come here." She said, "I love you and your brother." She said, "I'm going to miss both of you." She said, "I want you to take care of him." And she said, "Give me a kiss." And she hugged and kissed me. And when she kissed me, some of her blood dripped on my pajamas. And I just remember just being so scared and in shock. I didn't know what was going on. And then I went to sleep, apparently, because she walked out of the room and I did not wake up. And I was just, and I take that God put me in a deep sleep. because he did not want me to see what was just going to happen from there. Because when I woke up later, I woke up and my brother wasn't in the bed. So I got scared and panicked, and I'm looking for him. And I see him, he's in his diaper, and he's in the kitchen splashing around in blood at that time, playing in my mother's blood. And from there, I did not know that she actually, and there was, blood through the hallway and the carpet and everywhere. I did not know that she actually collapsed in the in the bathroom and passed away. And fortunately, I did not see that. And I believe that God, for whatever reasons, allowed that not to happen, because it's bad enough to have the vision of what I saw of her and have to carry that with me to my entire life. But from that point, I don't remember anything else at that point. Next thing I know, I remember being where my dad had told me, where you're going to have to stay with your grandmother for a while I get the house back together and things of that nature. I did not know that he was arrested and charged with possible murder, because of course the spouse is always the first one they look at. So they had arrested him, but it was by me telling grandma, from what the family tells me, by me telling grandma what I saw is what helped free my dad, or he probably would have went to prison for murder. So, there was really no forensics much back then at that time, not major. So it would have been for devastating. He would have been locked up. But that burden is always tough. I only have a few pictures of my mother, but I do have several memories of her. One of the funny ones, and I share this so that the video doesn't be too long here, but there's one video, and we lived in Chicago, the Windy City, and I know this Windy City. I remember we were going to go take the subway or go take the bus, public transportation, because she didn't drive, and it was wintertime. And when we walked outside, it was so windy out there that we couldn't hardly walk. And I remember the wind blew my mom, and she slid off of the sidewalk and was onto the curb, like kind of under a car somewhat. And I remember laughing at her at that time. And it was so bad that we had to fight to get back into the house. And she just said, forget it for that day. That's just one of the many memories that I have. I have a handful. Few, but I thank God that it's unfortunate, though, my brother don't have any, because he was too young, because he was only 1 year old at that time. So I share that just in remembrance of my mother, and I hope that you guys out there have some memories that you can share of your mother as well. I just wonder what life would have been like if she was around. It's tragic. I don't know what caused her to want to take her life. I've been told from doctors it's possible it could have been postpartum, being that wasn't recognized back then as a illness at that time. And I really don't know, but it's hard. And it may be hard for you not having mama around for this week, but let's just honor our mother in what way we can, and share the memories and enjoy it, because I'm always going to be thankful that I do have some memories of her, and I miss her, and I just wonder what it would have been like. But I still give God the glory out of all of it, because fortunately I did have an aunt, which was my dad's sister, to raise me. And you may ask, why didn't my dad raise me? Well, my dad was murdered 11 months later. 11 months later, my dad was murdered. So my auntie raised me, and I'll go into detail. It's in another one of my videos there about the death of my father, where I shared the story of that. And I may share a little more, because there's more memories with him as well. But yeah, so my auntie raised me. But one of the things that she said when she first took custody of me and my brother, she looked at us and said, I can't replace your mother or your father. She said, but I'm going to raise you the best way I can. That's what she said. And she kept that promise. And I have to give her honor as well as a second mom, because she's still alive and well. And she did the best she could to raise us to be responsible young men, grow up to be responsible men. So let's honor our mothers out there for this week. And I share this story with you to let you know that even though you may have lost a parent or you may have lost both like me, it doesn't define your destiny in life. It doesn't mean you have to grow up to go down a dark path to nowhere. You could still grow up to be successful. You could still grow up to have success in life. Stand up. Honor your parents. Allow them, even if they're not here, to be able to just look at you. And if they were able to look at you and say, I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of your daughter. Let's do that. And God bless you until the next video. And I look forward to talking to you. Until then, goodbye.